You're watching ABC7 News at 5.
Good evening, I'm Jacqueline Matter.
And I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks for being with us tonight. Right now, President Trump is hosting a press conference to discuss his United Nations General Assembly meeting.
Press Secretary Sarah Sanders tweeted that the president will also be discussing the news of the day, which will likely include the allegations against Judge Brett Kavanaugh and his upcoming meeting with Rod Rosenstein. Let's take a look at that press conference happening right now.
It's like the hottest industry there is. If you look at what happened with steel, we're charging a 25% tariff. For the dumpers, they dump massive amounts of steel. They want to put the steel companies out of business, and after they're out of business, they'll come in and charge 5 times more than you ever thought possible. And we need steel and we need aluminum, and those industries are doing well, but steel is incredible. U.S. Steel is opening up a minimum of 8 plants. Nucor is opening up plants, and these are big plants, $750 million and $1 billion plants in some cases. So what's happening with the steel industry is very exciting to me. It's being rebuilt overnight. If you look at the miners and coal, if you look at energy, LNG, Japan just gave us some numbers that are incredible. They're doubling the amount that they are going to be buying for Japan. They're taking the LNG and they're doubling it up. I said, you have to do me a favor. We don't want these big deficits. You're going to have to buy more. They're buying massive amounts of equipment and military equipment, and other countries are doing the same thing because we have trade imbalances with almost everybody. It's a rare exception that we don't. So we are doing great as a country. Unfortunately, they just raised interest rates a little bit because we are doing so well. I'm not happy about that because I know it's going to be a question. I am not happy about that. I'd rather pay down debt or do other things, create more jobs. So I'm worried about the fact that they seem to like raising interest rates. We can do other things with the money. And but they raised them, and they're raising them because we're doing so well. You know, we're doing much better than I had projected in terms of when I was campaigning. I said we were going to do this, and we're doing much better than anybody ever thought possible. And I will say if others got in, it would have been just the opposite because they were going to put restrictions on, they were going to put regulations on, they were going to choke the economy as it was already choking, but it would have been worse, and they were going to raise your taxes. That's what they want to do now if they ever got control, which I don't think they'll have control for a long time. So with that being said, we'll take some questions, and yes, please. John, go ahead. We have plenty of time.
Mr. President, thank you very much. Of course, what you're looking forward to tomorrow is the hearings with Judge Kavanaugh before the Judiciary Committee.
Yes.
In 1991, when Joe Biden passed along to the Bush 41 White House the allegations that Anita Hill had raised against Clarence Thomas, the Bush White House asked the FBI to look into it as part of Judge Thomas's background investigation, not a criminal investigation, but the background investigation. When these allegations were raised, why didn't this White House do the same thing? And with all of the allegations that are coming out now about Judge Kavanaugh, was there an opportunity missed here to have investigators look into this and get some sort of clarity one way or the other?
Well, the FBI told us they've investigated Judge Kavanaugh 6 times, 5 times, many times over the years. They know him very well. But here there was nothing to investigate from at least one standpoint. They didn't know the location, they didn't know the time, they didn't know the year, they didn't know anything. And it's like, where do you go? Also, it's not for the FBI. If you look at what Joe Biden said, he said they don't do this. And he said it very clearly. So I think when you really look at it all, it's not going to change any of the Democrats' minds. They're obstructionists. They're actually con artists because they know how quality this man is, and they've destroyed a man's reputation, and they want to destroy it even more. And I think people are going to see that in the midterms, what they've done to this family, what they've done to these children, these beautiful children of his, and what they've done to his wife. And they know it's a big, fat con job. And they go into a room, and I guarantee you, they laugh like hell at what they pulled off on you and on the public. They laugh like hell. So it wouldn't have mattered if the FBI came back with the cleanest score, and you understand that very well, John. If they would have come back with the most perfect, we found everything and he's perfectly innocent of everything, it wouldn't have made a difference. You wouldn't have gotten one vote. Now, we will get votes from the Democrats if we win. You'll have 3, 4, or 5 Democrats giving us votes because they're in states that I won by 30 and 40 points, and they're going to give us votes. But other than that, you probably won't get any, John. Yes, go ahead, please.
Mr. President, there are now 3 women accusing Judge Kavanaugh of sexual misconduct. Are you saying that all 3 of those women are liars? Is there anything that could be said at this hearing tomorrow that could cause you to withdraw the nomination? Anything at all that...
I won't get into that game. I only tell you this. This is one of the highest quality people that I've ever met. And everybody that knows him says the same thing. And these are all false to me. These are false accusations in certain cases, and certain cases, even the media agrees with that. I can only say that what they've done to this man is incredible. You know, it's very interesting. I pick a lot of judges. I have 145 judges I will be picking by the end of a fairly short period of time because President Obama wasn't big on picking judges. When I got there, I said, how is this possible? I have 145, including Court of Appeals judges. And they just didn't do it. You know why? They got tired. They got complacent. Something happened. I have 145 judges. Everybody wants to be a federal judge, not just a Supreme Court judge. I'm talking about Court of Appeals. I'm talking about district court. I don't think they're going to want to so much. I'll be calling people, and we'll have people calling people that do this. And people are going to be scared because we could say it about you. 35 years ago, you met, and you might not know what's going on. What is going on? Why did they wait so long? Why did Senator Feinstein wait till the hearings were over and make this case? Why didn't she bring it right at the beginning when you ask about, as an example, the FBI? Why didn't they bring this right at the beginning, during the hearing? You would have had all the time in the world for the FBI. It would have been fine. Now, the FBI, as you know, did investigate this time, as they have 5 or 6 other times, and they did a very thorough investigation. But this is a big con job, and I would love to be in the room with the Democrats, close the door. You guys are all away outside waiting, and Schumer and his buddies are all in there laughing how they fooled you all. Let's just stop them. A big fat con. Yeah, go ahead.
But Mr. President, if I could follow up, you have daughters. Can you understand why a victim of sexual assault would not report it at the time? Don't you understand?
By the way, I only say this. 36 years, no charge, no nothing.
But
everybody,
that happens often. I mean,
people are going to have to make a decision. 36 years, there's no charge. All of a sudden, the hearings are over, and the rumors start coming out. And then you have this other con artist, Avenatti, come out with another beauty today. I only say that you have to look at the facts. The senators are very capable people. They're very good people. I know many of them. They're friends of mine. These are very talented, very good people. And they're going to vote. They're going to have to believe what they believe. When I look at what's happened to the reputation of a great gentleman, a great intellect, a brilliant man, somebody that has a chance to be one of our great Supreme Court justices in history, intellectually, I think it's a shame. Yes, please.
Yes, Mr. President, my name is Tomas Regalado from Radio and TV Marti. Mr. President, yesterday at the speech at the UN, you spoke about how Venezuela's problem was because of Cuba and the Castros, how they went in there and they brought socialism and communism to Venezuela and now to Nicaragua as well. Mr. President, are you going to be more proactive now against Cuba as well?
I've been very proactive against Cuba. I don't like what's happening in Cuba.
Well, you've been listening to President Trump at a press conference there in New York. He spoke earlier today with the UN Security Council there, led that meeting. But all of the questions that we've listened to so far have been about Judge Kavanaugh, the Supreme Court nominee, and he'll be on Capitol Hill tomorrow to do that testimony along with Dr. Christine Blasey Ford. So that all happens tomorrow. And of course, there are 2 other women, allegedly, who have similar stories. So we'll see how it all plays out. We'll also monitor what the president is saying, and if there are any other developments, we'll bring those to you. In other news, here at home, the city of Northport is the fastest growing city on the Suncoast. And as the city expands, so does its budget.
The City Commission approved a $161.5 million budget for the 2018-2019 fiscal year. That's a $7 million increase from last year. ABC7's Rebecca Fernandez tells us how this extra money will be put to use.
Yes, as Northport continues seeing this rapid growth, property values are rising, and that means City Council can expand the budget a bit more and give back to the people who live here.
You know, Northport's not slowing down. Everything's on the rise, including the cost to be able to provide a lot of the services for residents. So
Northport City Council agreed to spend more on first responders, larger utility systems, and recreational projects.
People want more things to do here in Northport. They want to be able to not only live here in the city, but they also want to be able to work here in the city. They want to spend their free time here in the city.
And that's why this budget includes a lot of new items: road widening projects, a new drainage improvement system, funding to continue building and maintaining the future aquatic center, and multiple ways to bring more jobs to Northport. There are more than a dozen new city positions open for employment, plus 4 new officers for the police department's new traffic unit. And the biggest area for job growth is the new fire station that will be built in the West Villages area.
Sarasota County has been covering that area under a mutual aid agreement for a period of time, and as that area develops more, it's become more incumbent for us to begin operating up there. So over this next year, our goal is to transition up into that area in some capacity.
This station will need to hire 21 firefighters, including 3 lieutenants. And the city also wants to put more money into a hidden gem, the warm mineral springs.
We've had some community forums here in the last month, really getting input with what people want to see. So there will certainly be some talks and some action on how do we get there, how do we give people what they're looking for.
This budget will go into effect on October 1st, and if you want to see a breakdown on how the budget will affect each one of these projects, you can find that at our website at mysuncoast.com. In Northport, Rebecca Fernandez, ABC7, your Suncoast News. Back to you guys.
Rebecca, thank you. An update now on the Atlanta Braves spring training facility in Northport. The framework on the stadium is complete and construction is still moving along, finally starting to look like a stadium, don't you think? The $125 million project includes more than 6,000 seats, a concourse, walkway, luxury suites, and then there's 8 practice fields around it and 750 parking spaces. The complex is scheduled to open in the spring when the last spring training game will be played there. Season tickets are already available for the 2020 season, their first full season, and then tickets for that March 24th game will go on sale later this year. Manatee County Sheriff's Office is opening a new satellite station in Lakewood Ranch. That new substation is east of Lorraine Road off of State Road 70. Deputies can complete paperwork or handle other needs without having to drive back to the District 3 station, which is off State Road 64. It will be staffed with a front desk attendant so people can speak with a deputy, file complaints, or address other issues. The new substation is expected to open by mid-October.
The lingering red tide in our area is impacting yet another Suncoast tradition. The Sarasota Ski-A-Rees were planning to start their season this Sunday, but the president of the ski team says that could change because of the persistent red tide. The team has had to cancel some practices over the past few weeks because there's been dead fish in Sarasota Bay where they perform. The team will make the call this Saturday on whether or not they will perform on Sunday. But the Ski-A-Rees are planning to take part in the opening ceremony for the 2018 World Rowing Masters Regatta. That starts at 6 o'clock tonight at Nathan Benderson Park. Now those races will kick off tomorrow and run through Sunday.
Well, we hope the weather will cooperate for this tonight's ceremony at Nathan Benderson Park. Let's check now with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan and our first alert forecast.
So far, we've had a few isolated showers around and a few storms as well. And that red tide report has come out. We've had it on our mysuncoast.com page as well. You can read all about it, as well as a new ban on the fishing of red tide and snook, too. I believe we have that in our newscast a little later. Holmes Beach webcam showing pretty calm conditions. A lot of people noticing walking on the beaches there, so it must not be too bad right there at the Anna Maria Island. But we have had a few brief showers around, not a lot of activity going on, but there have been some storms that have been developing. As the sea breeze develops, sometimes it has just enough push to create a few showers, and that's what we saw earlier near downtown Sarasota, pushing off toward Bayshore Gardens. That storm has since gone. This is the area we're watching. Lots of lightning, heavy weather here, and this is pushing off to the northwest. So the sea breeze, as you can see right here, is well inland, though, so that's a little bit of a change from what we've seen over the past couple of days. It's not as far inland down in South Sarasota County, but when this gets close to it, we're going to start to see more storms firing up into East Sarasota, central portions of Charlotte County, and into east portions of Manatee County. Right now, some rainfall near Northport. These showers have been kind of weakening, though, over the past half hour, so not bad right now. So for your commute home or maybe a drive to the store, not a big issue currently. I would say later on, though, say after 7:30, 8 o'clock, there'll be bigger storms in the making there. 99, that's what it feels like right now. We had a brief shower, cooled things down to 83. It's back up to 87 now. And all that rain that fell is coming back as moisture and humidity, so it makes it feel a little bit warmer out there. Well, more in the tropics. Kirk is back with us. Details on that in just a few. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. Sarasota and Manatee counties are racing the clock to get sample ballots printed in Spanish before November's general election. Now, this comes after a federal judge's ruling that they had to do that. ABC7's Alan Cohn joins us now with a look at what's coming up tonight at 7. Alan?
Scott, less than 2 months before November's general election, a federal judge decided 32 counties in Florida that don't already print ballots in Spanish must provide all sample ballots in Spanish for the upcoming election. Sarasota and Manatee counties included. Both supervisors of the election and the federal judge who made the ruling believe it would be nearly impossible to change the election software and redesign the ballots themselves before the November 6th election. So for now, the counties simply have to provide sample ballots in Spanish along with signs in Spanish at polling places to let voters know they're available.
So when we mail sample ballots to voters, all the voters that we mail the sample ballots to will have an English version and a Spanish version in the envelope that will come to them.
Coming up tonight, we'll debate the issue: should counties be required to provide Spanish language ballot materials to voters? Join us at the trapezoid. Scott.
Okay, Alan, we'll see you tonight. Still to come this evening, why a fishing restriction along the Gulf Coast is now being extended to next spring. And
Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
It's rainy season on the Suncoast. Storms can pop up at a moment's notice. Sometimes it's just rain. Sometimes it's much worse. When there's the potential for severe weather, you need to know fast. Trust ABC7 First Alert Weather to get you the information you need right away. We focus on the storms that impact where you live, and we're committed to alerting you with important information as soon as we get it. When severe weather strikes, trust ABC7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Gettle's got what you're looking for at Gettle.com. 17 new car brands, over 1,000 used vehicles, prices and payments you can afford. Credit help if you need it, and they pay cash for your old car. Plus, Gettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Need service? Gettle's got that too. Gettle's got it. Visit Gettle.com.
According to a new survey by U.S. News & World Report, 3 of Alabama's top 4 hotels and resorts are part of the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail Resort Collection. The Grand Hotel Marriott Resort in Point Clear, the Battle House Renaissance Mobile Hotel and Spa, and the Renaissance Birmingham Ross Bridge Golf Resort and Spa. Hey, we didn't invent Southern hospitality, we just offer more of it. Visit rtjgolf.com/resorts to find out more.
Stop in and save big on new Ram trucks during Ram Power Days at Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat in Sarasota. The Ram 1500 has been named a Consumer Guide Best Buy for 6 years running. Get an all-new 2019 Ram Quad Cab for as little as $24,999. Or save big and get up to $14,328 off a new Ram Bighorn Crew Cab. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat in Sarasota.
The Players Center presents the wild Broadway season opener, Annie, Get Your Gun. There's no business like show business. This slice of magical American musical theater will thrill you with the classic tunes of Irving Berlin. Call the Players Center at 365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. Annie, Get Your Gun, September 18th through October 7th. Let's go on with the show.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
A fishing restriction is extended to next spring as the state tries to limit impacts from red tide along the Gulf Coast. Today, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission agreeing to extend the mandatory catch and release rule on redfish and snook until May 10th. The order has been in place for a month now from Anna Maria Island south to Naples. The commission is also ending the scallop season in northwest Florida's Gulf County, where red tide has recently appeared as well. These are, redfish and snook. We want to protect these species.
Right.
These are game fish that that struggle sometimes with not only red tide but cold weather.
Right.
So I would
Imagine
suspect,
a big impact for that.
Yeah, as an angler, you want this. Is a
Oh
good
yeah,
thing.
I think that that's not a problem at all. I think most of the anglers agree with that. The thing is a lot of people come down to Florida for fishing and catching those, and sometimes eating them. Obviously, a great dinner fare there. It also has been extended northward now. It includes now Tampa Bay and Pinellas County too. So it's gone a little bit further up as a result of the red tide spreading that way. Unfortunately, Lakewood Ranch webcam though showing some nice weather today, albeit hot. That's been the key word lately. The hot weather continues. Heat indices up near 100 degrees, and we've had a few brief showers around. Not much now. The west coast breeze has really made it way inland now, and that means that we're going to see the storms firing up a little bit more in some inland counties as opposed to where it was the last couple days pinned right near the coast. The cold front you see here will become stationary. We still have this east to southeast wind around an area of high pressure located off the coast of Florida. That high pressure has been bumped down a little bit, so that's giving us that east to southeasterly wind. And you can see from the radar picture some pretty big storms down south near Fort Myers and just to the west of Lake Okeechobee. These are pushing to the northwest. The sea breeze is well inland now, and as the two meet, it looks like mainly into eastern portions of Manatee County, now into actually DeSoto County. That's how far inland that breeze is at. Now you're going to see these storms start to increase somewhat in the next hour or so. Not much going on near the coast, so as far as any kind of driving or outdoor activities are concerned, we don't expect much here along the coast here in the next couple of hours. Maybe a brief shower here and there, but not nearly as much as we're going to see, I think, later on tonight, as this model depicted there. Some heavier storms coming in late this evening. And then starting off nice tomorrow, lots of sunshine around, showers and storms developing once again in the afternoon and evening, pushing off to the northwest. They will be hit or miss. Not everyone's going to get the rain, but like we saw over the past couple of days, the rains that fell, and that was a result of that sea breeze getting pinned right near the coast, up to 3 inches yesterday near Inglewood and just to the east of Inglewood, west of Port Charlotte. A lot of rainfall in South Sarasota County yesterday and the day before as well. Looks like less activity, though, as we move into the weekend. Things are looking a little drier as a result of high pressure building over the surface and in the upper levels of the atmosphere. Well, the tropical system that we were watching continues to head away now from the Carolina coast. That's good news there. This, however, the remnants of Kirk, now is Tropical Storm Kirk, continues to head toward the islands here. It's still not that well organized. It has a little chance of getting a little bit better organized over the next 24 hours. Top winds are at 60 miles an hour. It's moving to the west-northwest at 18. Expected to stay as a tropical storm as it makes its way through the central portions of the Lesser Antilles and then open up to just a tropical low in the central Caribbean. That's simply because of the strong upper level winds there, not expected to gain strength as it moves on through. So some wind shear going to help us out there. Southeast winds turn to the west for boaters tomorrow. That sea breeze kicking in, a light chop, seas running 2 feet or less. The extended forecast, I mentioned less of a chance for activity on Friday. Staying pretty nice over the weekend too. Limited shower activity, maybe a little bit more so come Monday and Tuesday of next week, but the temperatures staying pretty warm right on through. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. Let's check first alert traffic at this hour. We're seeing some backups as you head north, both north and south over the DeSoto Bridge in Manatee County, both directions there. And then just as you start to head east towards Allenton on 301, we're seeing a little bit of red on the map as well. Jacqueline.
Thanks, Scott. In health news tonight, could having asthma as a kid lead to anxiety later on in life? Well, Penn State researchers may have found a link between the two. In a study with mice, researchers found that childhood exposure to allergens was linked with persistent lung inflammation. They also found changes in stress levels and episodes of labored breathing, both of which are associated with short-term anxiety. Previous research has shown that about 10% of children have asthma, giving them a 2 to 3 times higher chance of developing anxiety or depression. Coming up, the search continues for a missing child with autism in North Carolina, and chilling video of a new missile system being tested in Russia. Those stories straight ahead.
The final 2018 Accord clearance is now during our model year-end clearance sale. Drive new Accords for just $249 a month. Get an Accord, the North American car of the year, for less than the competition. With more standard features than Camry, Honda Sensing, multi-angle camera, turbocharged engine, and more. New Accords, just $249 a month. Your last chance for new Accords, all on clearance this week at your local Honda dealer.
Helping families with mesothelioma is all we do. My firm has been offering a free book on mesothelioma for over 10 years. Since that time, hundreds of people with mesothelioma have trusted us to represent them. We have local offices throughout the U.S. and there is no risk to you. Mesothelioma really is all we do. Call us at 1-800-485-6000. That's 1-800-485-6000. Or go to mesoonlylaw.com.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TruStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TruStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
You are like no other. So why should your choices be ordinary? Ghibli, the absolute opposite of ordinary.
Experience it at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Crews in North Carolina are still searching for Maddox Rich, a 6-year-old boy with autism who went missing over the weekend. Police say Maddox was last seen Saturday afternoon after running away from his father at a North Carolina park. Hundreds of people have been looking for the boy who was autistic and nonverbal. Authorities are using helicopters, drones, dogs, and recordings of his parents' voices to try to draw the child out of the woods. Police say they've received about 150 leads as of Tuesday, but there's still no sign of the boy. Russian President Vladimir Putin has authorized the first ever use of his Bastion coastal missile complex. Chilling video footage shows the launch of Onyx supersonic anti-ship cruise missiles. The military exercise involved an attack on supposed enemy ships in the pristine Arctic.
A runaway kangaroo in South Florida has wildlife officers sending up a pair of drones to help search for a second day. More than a dozen Florida Fish and Wildlife officers have been joined by state troopers and local law enforcement in the search for Storm. The 5-year-old marsupial hopped away from a home in Jupiter where he's been raised with 6 other kangaroos. Storm's owner says he's laid back unless he's startled. Wildlife officers plan to subdue him with a tranquilizer dart and then return the animal to its owner. Well, still to come, Florida is ranked the 5th worst state in the country to be a teacher. What this means for the future of education right here on the Suncoast.
Plus, for the first time, football fans will have the option to listen to an all-female broadcast team. We'll look at the women making history in the NFL.
Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru vehicles hold their value better than any other brand for 2018, according to ALG. And Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand for 4 years running. The Subaru Forester is an IIHS top safety pick for 12 years running. And right now, you can lease a new Subaru Forester for just $229 a month or get 0% financing with 0 down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Call to see if you qualify to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan right now. At Humana, we believe great things are ahead of you when you start with healthy. And part of staying healthy means choosing the right Medicare plan. Humana can help. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits when you're sick, but keep in mind you'll have to pay a deductible for each. A Medicare supplement plan can cover your deductibles and coinsurance, but you may pay higher premiums than you do with other plans, and prescription drug coverage isn't included. But with an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get all that coverage plus Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable monthly plan premium, and in some areas, no plan premium. It's all described in this free book. Call for yours and discover how an all-in-one Medicare Advantage plan from Humana could save you money. There is no obligation and the book is free. Call or go online right now.
Pets bring so much joy to our lives. They're loyal, they're protective, and smart. Yet as smart as our pets might be, they can't advocate for themselves, especially in the event of a natural disaster. During Hurricane Harvey, many families were separated from their pets. That's why it's important your pet is part of your family's disaster preparedness plan. Talk to your veterinarian and visit banfieldfoundation.org/disaster. Don't save it for a rainy day.